criticisms on the beef buy plan in Argentina. What is the message from the White House to those that are a little worried that this is not a MAGA move right here?
It is an utterly MAGA move, and I don't mean MAGA with this is first A, with the second A being about Argentina or making that country great again. For those who don't have historical perspective, there's something called the Monroe Doctrine. I can translate that into a far more prosaic phrase. What happens in your backyard matters. What happens next to the house you live in is important to your house as well. So let's think of America as a home for all of us Americans. And as such, what happens in our hemisphere is directly of relevance to our safety, to our economy. If you just think about the fentanyl trafficking, 110,000 Americans murdered each year by those drug smugglers. Well, we know that that's the justification beyond anything else we could ever need. So we need a hemisphere that's stable, and we need those who share our vision of sovereign nations who have Western values coming together. Those nations need to be helped if they are in peril.
Is this a different way of trying to stabilize these countries? I mean, in the past, the U.S. aid has just sent money to these countries to try and keep them more stable so that people don't feel the need to come to the United States, immigrate here, and try to break in through our southern border. Is this just a different method of trying to do that, by trying to, stabilize the capitalist leader of Argentina and maybe in some ways try and push out the communists that are running Venezuela and Colombia?
It's more than a different method, Rob. It's actually a different mission and a different objective. Under the Democrat administrations, whether it's Obama, whether it's Clinton, whether it was Biden, AID, foreign aid, was used to prop up those who shared the ideological anti-Americanism of those who were in power. This is about pro-Americanism. This is about supporting those who are on our side, wish to see nation states that are sovereign and borders that actually function as borders, and as you rightly said, resist the creeping socialism and at times communism that we see being supported by various actors in the region. So it's about making America safer by supporting our friends.
But Maduro, Venezuela, linking his country to Colombia now, sending this message out to the White House. Take a listen.
Colombia knows that we are one. And whatever happens to Colombia happens to Venezuela. And whatever happens to Venezuela happens to Colombia. As a military officer from the Colombian military forces wrote to me 2 weeks ago, if they touch Venezuela, they touch Colombia. We are one single country from the heart.
Is Maduro going to be the leader of that country in 6 months?
Can we just save that? Can we make that an evergreen? Is there a better clip of the globalist insanity than what you just heard? And, I'll take things that never happened for $500, please, Rob, that officer that wrote to him. But that is exactly the one world government that we are fighting, because Americans want America for Americans. So perfect clip. Well done to your team. Let's save that one for the evergreen pile.
Is there interest in ousting that man from power?
We don't do regime change. So this is, a very simple pillar of American foreign policy under the Trump administration. We'll be supportive of those who share our Judeo-Christian Western values, but we don't do regime change. That's the insanity of the neoconservatives of the Bush era. So no, thank you.
370 suspected jihadists have been killed since you've been senior director of counterterrorism for the White House and since the president took office. Tell us how impactful those numbers are to our safety.
Oh, if you think about the prior 4 years, when I came into office in the first week, I was told by the intelligence community, by Special Operations Command, by the Department of War, that basically they weren't allowed to do their job for 4 years. They were surveilling jihadis who'd killed Americans, who were plotting to kill Americans, and they weren't allowed to take action. On day 8, we snapped back to the rules of engagement from the first Trump administration. The president signed a piece of paper that said if a combatant commander sees a leading jihadi, you have the authority to take them out and to turn them into red mist. And we are pushing almost 400 leading jihadis neutralized since January the 20th. And because it falls under our portfolio as well at the NSC, I am so proud of our team of Special Envoy Bowler, Rick Grinnell, Steve Witkoff, more than 75 Americans brought home alive who were hostages or wrongfully detained, because that's the number one priority to the president.
Yeah, I love it. Sebastian Gorka on his birthday. Happy birthday, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you, Rob. God bless. Appreciate it.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt Tonight on Newsmax.